Do you want to know the secret to learning to build with AI? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm Zeb. I own TES Rentals in North Florida, and I have been building with AI inside of my business for quite a while now. I have automated many parts, taken many tasks off of my plate, and provided value to the business and to my customers. The thing that I have found to be key in learning this is curiosity. When something doesn't go exactly the way you want it to, or the end result is not what you would imagine, I know it can be very frustrating. Trust me, I experience it all the time. But what you do in that moment is you ask a question to the AI. Why did this go this way? This was the intended result, but we ended up here. How did that happen? What could you, the user, have done differently to get a different result? And guess what? It's going to tell you what you could have done differently. So then you take that lesson, you do it differently, and you see if you get the results you want. And on a task that's going to get repeated, like here's something that I experienced this week, which is why I'm talking about it. I have a client asking me to um, automate some kind of complex tasks that they have going on with multiple spreadsheets that are linked together, formulas throughout these entire things. And I've learned that when you're working with something like that, the very first thing that you have to do is extract all of that data out of the worksheets. And create a spec document that now becomes the gold standards. You basically throw the worksheets away once all that information is out. And the way that I figured this process out is because I just gave it in a previous build a bunch of spreadsheets that were accurate. And I said, hey, we're going to build these things out into this type of format with this user interface, blah, 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 whatever. And started walking through that process. And it was extremely frustrating. There were so many mistakes, so many times where the math is very clear in the worksheet, but the tool was attempting to invent steps to cover stuff that was already covered. And I mean, thankfully I understood how the worksheets work. So I was able to catch when it was inventing. But that whole frustrating process that cost hours and hours and hours of frustration and work is what led me to be curious. I'm like, the tool is obviously not this stupid. Like, why does it continue to make these mistakes? What am I doing wrong, or what could I do better to make sure these mistakes don't happen again in the future? And now I'm working on another project, the one I previously mentioned with a client that has a lot of spreadsheets in it. And we're going through this exact process of extracting the data, creating a spec sheet, and then the worksheets, the originals, never get looked at again. Everything comes off of the spec. There is a little bit of a process there as well as making sure that the spec is correct. And that takes a few iterations and some more rules and some more learning. But anyways, that's just an example of the principle I'm trying to tell you. The principle is working with AI is just like any other tool. It requires skill. The only way that you get skill is by doing the thing, by making mistakes, and by learning from those mistakes. So if you're jumping into building with AI and you think this thing is just going to go absolutely flawless and magical, and you can tell it, I want to go from step 1 to step 1,000,000, and you're just going to walk back and it's all done and it's all beautiful, you got a long road ahead, because that's not how it works. That's probably where we all start, but I'm just telling you now, buckle in, put your thinking cap on, go back to school, start learning by experience, and you'll get better in time. Learn the lessons, record the lessons, and then don't make the same mistake again in the future. And if you have an idea or a workflow inside of your business that you think you'd like to automate or apply AI to, and you're the type of person that prefers to work with someone who has boots on the ground, operational knowledge, they're actually applying the things they're talking about into their own business, then go to diamondhadvisory.com, schedule a time for a call, and I'll personally call you and we'll see if we're a good fit to work together.